The world watched as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned of existential threats, holding up diagrams of Iranian nuclear sites. This was not just political theater, it was the public face of a deeply ingrained Israeli security philosophy: strike first to survive. The roots of this doctrine trace back to June 7, 1981. On that day, 8 Israeli F-16s flew under the radar, crossing hostile airspace to destroy Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor. The mission, Operation Opera, was a high-stakes gamble, an act of war that risked global condemnation. For Prime Minister Menachem Begin, a Holocaust survivor, the alternative was unthinkable: a nuclear-armed Iraq. In under 2 minutes, the reactor was reduced to rubble. The world condemned Israel, but in Jerusalem a new principle was born: the Begin Doctrine. Israel would not allow any hostile power in the region to acquire weapons of mass destruction. This was more than strategy. It was a promise. Never again would Israel wait for catastrophe. The Begin Doctrine made preemption a central pillar of Israeli survival. It set a precedent, shaping every Israeli leader's mindset since. The first strike became not a last resort, but a necessary tool to ensure the nation's survival. Decades later, Netanyahu became the doctrine's fiercest modern champion, shifting focus from Iraq to Iran's nuclear ambitions. For Netanyahu, Iran's nuclear program was a ticking clock, a threat that demanded constant vigilance. He transformed the doctrine from a single airstrike into a relentless shadow war: sabotage, cyber attacks, and targeted assassinations. Explosions at Natanz and Fordow, the Stuxnet cyber attack, and the assassination of scientists like Mohsen Fakhrizadeh all bore Israel's fingerprints. This is the Begin Doctrine 2.0, a campaign of 1,000 cuts, designed to delay and disrupt Iran's progress without triggering all-out war. Netanyahu's public speeches and Mossad's covert operations work in tandem, isolating Iran and legitimizing Israel's aggressive stance. The message is clear: all options remain on the table, including a preemptive strike. Today, Israel's shadow war is a perpetual conflict, fought to keep Iran's nuclear ambitions forever out of reach. Iran did not stand idle. Instead, it developed its own doctrine: forward defense. Drawing on lessons from the Iran-Iraq War, Iran built a network of proxies: Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Syria, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen. These groups form a ring of fire around Israel, turning the region into a battleground. Iran's strategy is asymmetric: retaliate through proxies, not direct confrontation. Every Israeli strike risks a response from Lebanon, Gaza, or Yemen, keeping Israel on constant alert. Forward defense is a patient, long-term strategy, deterring attack by threatening regional chaos. The Middle East is now defined by the collision of two doctrines: Israel's preemption and Iran's forward defense. Israel's approach is surgical: swift, decisive strikes to eliminate threats before they mature. Iran's is a war of attrition, using proxies to wear down Israel over time, avoiding direct conflict. This creates a cycle. Every Israeli action sparks an Iranian proxy response, fueling endless escalation. Neither side can win outright. Both are trapped in a perpetual shadow war. The conflict spills into Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen, devastating societies and forcing regional powers to take sides. The arms race intensifies, and the region becomes a patchwork of proxy battlegrounds. The doctrines feed off each other, making peace seem ever more remote. The struggle is no longer just bilateral, it's a region-wide contest for dominance. The feedback loop of violence and mistrust grows deeper with every strike. The Israel-Iran shadow war now shapes global security norms. Israel's normalization of preemption challenges the principle of national sovereignty, setting a precedent for unilateral strikes. If every nation adopts this logic, the world risks sliding into chaos, where might makes right. Iran's proxy warfare blurs the line between war and peace, offering a playbook for states to wage deniable, endless conflict. These strategies erode the old rules of engagement, making diplomacy and deterrence harder than ever. The world must now confront a new reality. The decision to strike first could change the global order forever. The path from Osirak to Natanz is not just Israel's story, it's a warning for us all.